So this is Lord Kelvin, who the temperature scale is actually named after. He was actually one of the people that accurately discovered the absolute zero value, as well as being a physicist and an engineer and all around kind of very smart guy. And what I like about this quote is it's a very simple quote, but it gets to the heart of the matter very, very quickly. In that, when you can measure what you're speaking about and you can express it in numbers, you know something about it. It's just as simple as that. It's really understanding something, putting some value against something can help you gauge whether or not it's working or not. Now, there's lots of complexity around that and intangibles and, and some dangers around doing that. But fundamentally, we like to understand where we are now versus where we want to go and versus kind of what's happening. And so being able to express that in some kind of number or metric is very, very useful as a business. And most businesses do track metrics in some fashion, but not necessarily around either transformation or anything else. So if you think about kind of what businesses generally do measure, it kind of falls into some of these different categories. So you need to start thinking in terms of, well, not only are we not measuring some things, but also are we measuring things in the wrong way? Do we need to readdress some of those metrics because there might be some issues around them? Now, a lot of the problem around transformation tends to be around intangibles. And this could be that we can't quite put a number on something. We can't quite agree on what it is or how to measure it. And even people like David Norton and Robert Kaplan, who created the balanced scorecard, didn't really account for intangibles in the beginning. They were obviously very keen on measuring things. And over time, they also recognized the need to be able to put value on intangible assets. And we see this, as an increasing importance within businesses. To be able to measure in some fashion these intangible projects or seemingly intangible projects and differentiate between the two of them to be able to put some values on those. But ultimately, irrespective if you measure everything or whether you only measure one thing, if you're not using it, then it's of no use. So there's a very caustic, as they all are, kind of Dilbert cartoon here with Dogbert the consultant speaking to Point Your Head Boss. Actually making quite a good point in this first screen that the boss needs a dashboard application to track his key metrics, to understand how his business is performing. But then in caustic fashion, he then interjects with, that way you'll have more data to ignore when you make decisions based on company politics. Because if you're not using that data, it's generally useless, but people are using it as a smokescreen in some cases. And obviously the Point Your Head Boss then comes back with, will the data be accurate? And the answer is, well, let's pretend that matters, because it doesn't matter. If you're not using it, it doesn't matter whether the data is accurate or not. So we need to make sure that we're using data accurately. We're making sure that we're making that available to the wider business, that we understand where that data is coming from, that we have a great viewpoint on kind of how that's being driven.